Great. Good morning to any replayers. And if you're a replayer, you can still tap on the screen. Tap, tap, tap. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer and you want to ask me, you can find me on Twitter or Snapchat. Two best places to just send a message and say, hey, I have this question. What can I do? So, Thursday, if you're new to me, good morning. Welcome to Money Habits. It's a daily broadcast, 7 days a week, where I talk about money habits. Why is it 7 days a week? Because money doesn't sleep, and if you're not paying attention to it, it will leave you. And today, what I want to talk about today is that, contrary to popular belief, money and math are a skill. What's the difference between skill and a talent? Skill is something that you get better at when you practice. Talent is something that you have that you just born it. Talent is something that makes things easier for you. And sometimes when people have talent, you are maybe think, oh, this is really easy. And so you can, then you attribute it to something intrinsic. And that's why the difference between money being a skill is really important. And it's something that we're not led to believe. There's actually a lot of messaging around money management that's made to believe that you can't do your own money, like you can't manage your money. So there is a huge industry. There's a $1 trillion industry, the finance industry, that makes you believe that you're not capable of managing your own money. And I'm here to dispel this and give you the tools to be able to manage your own money. Why? Because, quite frankly, most of us can't really afford to be paying other people to manage our money. Why is that? So it doesn't mean you don't have the money to do it. You may have the money to pay for it, but the return on your investment in terms of what you have to do to earn the money, then to pay someone else to manage your money for you is actually a tremendous, the equation doesn't make sense. And we can talk about it some other time. But what I want to talk to you today is if you don't practice your money skills, you're never going to get better. So it may feel awkward. It may feel like you don't know how to do it and you may be intimidated by it. But the best way for you to get better is to do it. And because we are in the US in tax time, so the January 31st is the deadline for you to receive your W-2 forms, your 1099 forms, and immediately people will rush off and try to pay someone else to do them taxes for it. I really want you to try it. I want you to try. I want you to feel confidence to say, you know what, let me just, even if you end up going to someone else, I want you to spend 5 minutes, right? Set a timer and spend 5 minutes looking at it at 10:40. The best way you can do it is you look at your last year's tax return. Look at your last tax return. If there are less than 10 entries in it, you can do your own tax return. You can do this. And you need to try it. Why? Because if you go to an outlet that prepares your taxes for you and say you pay $100, $150, like how long did it take you to actually earn that amount of money? And how much time would you spend doing it yourself? The thing about the actual filling out is not what's relevant. It's actually that you're learning about the tax code and the tax structure. Because taxes after income is your number 2 big money lever that you need to learn. And it's going to really impact your wealth building if you do not understand how taxes work. So money is a skill. You need to start practicing. The earlier you start practicing, the better. And so it's not like, it's like a lot of other skills, like whether you play an instrument, whether you're really good at some fitness activity, right? Like if you do dance, anything that requires skill and a lot of practice, even whatever you do in your job, even like food prep, like everyday stuff, the more you practice, the better you get at it. And money is no different. And don't let I'm not good at math, the voice inside your head that says I'm not good at math, that's why I won't do money, don't let that win, because it's just not true. It's not true. And so math, for people who didn't, hi, how are you? For people who didn't do well in math when they were, maybe got to high school and got into algebra and trigonometry and calculus, that has nothing to do with managing money. Money is a skill. So And understanding math concepts is not the same as doing like using basic tools to do your money and to look after it. So please develop that skill, develop that muscle. It's a muscle, right? It's money and math are a muscle. If you practice this, if you lift, I want you to start doing the heavy lifting. I want you to do, so this year, even if you end up going to the tax person to prepare it and put out your money, before you do that, spend 5 minutes. I swear to God, put your timer for 5 minutes, pull out your last year's return, and look it over, and then try to do it yourself and say, where are these 10 numbers that were put in here? And again, if it's less than 10 numbers, I guarantee you can do it. And the other thing, the final thought is, if you do go to the tax preparation place, please don't pay any extra fees. Don't get the refund anticipation loan. Don't give more of your money away to somebody else. Like, if you really need this money and you have a plan for it, right? Like, hey, I'm going to pay off this credit card, or I'm going to start this IRA, or I'm going to have a emergency savings account, or I'm going to build my, start building my wealth, be on my way to have a free cash flow so I can take advantage of, all the things that are available to investors. Don't give up that money. Don't take the refund anticipation loan. Don't hold and wait for 8 days, 10 days, 20 days, whatever it takes to get your refund in your account, or before paying all those extra fees. So just like when someone pushes something on you and they're like, oh, you want your money now? And say, well, how much will that cost me? Ask, how much is that going to cost me? And get a number. And then decide, hey, you know what? It's worth $200 to me. It's worth $300. Whatever it is, make sure you're paying, you know how much you're going to be paying for those services. So that's the message for today on Money Habits. Thank you for everybody that joined. I do want you to practice your money skills. If you're new to me and you want to follow 7 days a week, I do Money Habits in the morning, 10 a.m. every single day. Central Time, Chicago time. And I also talk about Money Matters, where I dive into a deeper topic. And as of like this week, one of the things that I did was start putting spreadsheets together, and I know I got encouraged to start sharing them on Google Docs. So next week, I'm going to start creating Google documents that you guys can download or just use for yourself. Like, I'll share them. I'll build the spreadsheets to help you actually use the tools that I talk about. And then I'll start doing like tutorials on those. There'll be money demos, and this is free because I'm good at this. I'm good at spreadsheets, and I want people to use them to practice. It's like someone going, here's a stack of weights. Why don't you lift one? And then show you how to like do the proper curl. That's what I want to do for you and your money. Because I'm sick of the financial industry taking advantage of everybody in the world, and I want more people to have peace with money. So join me tomorrow or some other time. If you follow me, you'll get me on replay, and if you can also play this from Twitter. So follow me on Twitter as well, especially if you have any questions. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.